Welcome, sadhkas. We are learning to be intimate with Vedic mathematics values. We are coming nearer the Vedic mathematics domain by being face to face with its foundation of chatushpeet. And chatushpeet takes us to Vedic alphabet, that is Vedic knowledge organization as per vowels and consonants of Devanagari alphabet. Swarit Vyanjit Vedic knowledge is availing vowels and consonants. Swarit literally means transition and transformation of swaras, vowels, as sounds. And Vyanjit literally means transition and transformation of consonants as content formats. With transition and transformation of vowels and consonants, the setup gets formatted as yamas, eternal format. Words formulations with vowels and consonants transformed as sound and content along eternal format gets natural sustenance of manifested setups to be as 8 yamas of transcendental code values 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 of summation value 100. It is parallel with panchbhut, transiting and transforming as panchmahabhut of range prithivi, aapa, agni, vayu, akash, surya, and dhruv, lively along chatushpeet foundation. Today we shall be glimpsing some of these features. The Vedic knowledge is availing Devanagari alphabet. Devanagari alphabet is a setup of 42 consonants and vowels. These 42 vowels and consonants are organized as 14 Maheshwara Sutras, and 14 Maheshwara Sutras are base of Vyakaran. The organization of Vedic knowledge as Vyakaran, grammar, along and in terms of Maheshwara Sutras, organizing 42 letters of Devanagari alphabet, brings us face to face with as to how the sounds based knowledge is availing yama letters, eternal formats. There are 8 yama letters. Devanagari alphabet as such is of 2 parts. First, vowels and consonants, and second, yama letters. Vowels and consonants get organized as Maheshwara Sutras, and Maheshwara Sutras organized Devanagari alphabet letters lead us to sound-based organization of Vedic knowledge. The transition and transformation of sounds along yama format as a jyoti is the feature of Vedic knowledge for which we have to revisit the Vedic mathematics. The Vedic mathematics as such, with its focus on yama letters, is of basic importance. Today, we are glimpsing these features of Vedic knowledge. Vedic sounds based organization of knowledge along yama letters of format takes us to Jyoti, light. This transition and transformation from sound to light is the blissful feature of Vedic knowledge. Today, we shall be having some initial glimpses of these transition features. Yama are 8. Transcendental code values of these 8 yama letters are 9 to 16. Let us revisit values range 1 to 8. It leads to 12 factors, which is parallel with the transcendental code value of formulation yam. The Vedic code value of formulation yam is 6. Values 6 and 12 are coordinated as a raised to power 6 is to 12 b raised to power 5. Hypercube 6, the representative regular body of 6 space and 4 space, is domain boundary formulation 6 is to 12. The transcendental code value of formulation Shiv as well is 12. And the VC, Vedic code value of formulation Shiv, is 9. Step ahead, transcendental code value of formulation Yog as well is 12, while Vedic code value of Yog is 4. Let us have a pass. Formulation Yam, Shiv and Yog are of transcendental code value 12 each. However, Vedic code values of these triple formulations are 6, 9 and 4. Let us sit comfortably. Let us revisit square 2-space body. It has 9 structural components, 4 corner points, 4 edges, and 9th area. If we have a synthesis of 2 squares, then these together will lead us to values 9 plus 6 as the synthesis edge will, as of a setup of 3 components, 3 structural components, 1 edge and 2 points, corner points. Now, if we have a third square and if we have a synthesis of 3 squares, then we will be having 9, 6 and 4 structural components. Let us have a pass. See the formulations Yam, Shiv and Yog with common transcendental code value 12 and with the distinct Vedic code value 6, 9 and 4. Bring us face to face with the structural organization of 3 squares. First square as of structural components 9, pair of squares synthesis as of structural components 9 and 6, and 3 squares setup take us to 9, 6 and 4. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with it. Now, we know Lord Shiv is the overlord of 5-space transcendental space. 5 space content splits as 5, 3, 3, 1, 12. One shall sit comfortably and revisit the numbers 1 to 12. The numbers 1 to 12 will lead to 20 factors. And 5 space as origin of 4 space, with 4 space being of spatial order, will lead to value 5 square at the origin. And square as a setup of 4 quarter squares lead to value 25. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with these organization format features of square as a synthetic setup of quadruple quarter squares, and within 4 space, 5 spaces origin at the origin seat of spatial value 5 square, and 4 space itself as a spatial order space of quadruple spatial dimensions will help us appreciate these organizational features. Step ahead, we can revisit the setup of 8 yamas as 8 discrete points with 7 gaps. And within these 7 gaps are lively prithivi, aapa, agni, vayu, akash, surya, and dhruv. Prithivi, aapa, agni, vayu, and akash are panchbhut, and dhruv, surya, akash, vayu, and agni are panchmahabhut. This transition and transformation of panchbhut as panchmahabhut is the feature which deserves to be comprehended well. When the vowels will get dissolved, when consonants as well will get dissolved, then the eternal format will be of the feature of transition for panchbhut as panchmahabhut. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with it. Once we will be parallel with it, then we can be face to face with the summation value of 9 yama letters as 100, and numbers range 1 to 100 leads to factors 240, and number value 240 is 24 into 10, which is equal to 4 into 6 multiplied by 4 plus 6. Now 4 multiplied by 6 plus 4 plus 6 as 34 is the summation value of quadruple folds of hypercube 9. It is a really very, very blissful feature. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with this feature of yama letters manifesting panchmahabhut within its gaps, and the summation value 100 leading to 240 factors which take us to the creative boundary of the transcendental domain, structuring outer space as 6 space of creative dimensional order. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with it. The formulation Swarit is of transcendental code value 20, parallel with the transcendental code value of formulation Ved. Vyanjit leads to value 25, parallel with the transcendental code value of Vishnu. Let us be face to face with the formulation Ved as 7661, 8 space with 7 space as a boundary, 6 space as dimension, and 8 space splitting as pair of 6 spaces, and 8 space with its representative regular body H8 hypercube 8 is of transcendental code value 30, parallel with chatushpeet as well as with Sahita. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with these organization format features. Parallel with Ved. Now if we have a visit to the formation Lok, word of quadruple letter setup of transcendental code values 571114, which is the summation value of 4 folds of hypercube 4, the representative regular body of 4 space in 4 space. Ka Brahma with TC value for Ka 4, Ka Shiv with value 5, Ka Vishnu value 6, Ka Dhruv with value 7, making it value 22, with Ka as 1, 23, 22 and 23 is now Brahm. It is really a blissful feature. One shall sit comfortably and be sequentially parallel with the inner transition and sequential reach for 4, 5, 6, 7, parallel with 4 folds of hypercube 6, the representative regular body of a 6 space. This pair of formulations, Ved and Lok, will ultimately settle the distinguishing features of Vedic grammar, Vedic Sanskrit, and Sanskrit itself. Lokic Sanskrit and Vedic Sanskrit become 2 distinct disciplines with distinctive features parallel with that of formulation of Ved and Lok. One shall sit comfortably and to permit the transcending mind to be parallel with it. It is by being parallel with it that we shall be appreciating the organization of Swarit and Vyanjit Sanskrit, pronounced, articulated by human mouth. The sequential organization format of 5 steps within mouth, from throat to ost. The 5 sequential placements are for the first 5 vowels, as well as the same is for the pronunciation of the 5 rows of 5 cross 5 varga consonants. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with it, and by being parallel with it, one shall be appreciating the way Vedic grammar is organizing whole range of knowledge as sounds-based organization. For to be parallel with sound-based organization, one is to be parallel with the formulation shiksha. The formulation shiksha is a composition of 5 letters of transcendental code value 13. The Vedic code value of the formulation shiksha as well as 13. It is here where we can be appreciative of this reach of Vedic knowledge as Swarit, vowels based, as Vyanjit, consonants based, and as Swarit Vyanjit, having complete dissolution of the vowels as sounds, consonants as content, and there being a reach at Anant Shahishtra. It is this 1000 as number value which has primary role for organizing Vedic grammar the way it stands organized as sounds-based organization of Vedic knowledge with potentialities to transit and transform as a self-referral phenomenon of sound transiting into light. Nad to Jyoti is the attainable feature. Sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of urge to be parallel with Vedic knowledge and Vedic mathematics will ultimately attain this transition from sound to light. It is this transition from sound-based organization of knowledge to light-based organization of knowledge that we shall be appreciative of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe. Akash, the Shabd, the fifth element, is the universe of sounds, and Surya is the solar universe. The Saur Mandal is light frequencies domain. The sound frequencies domain lively within light frequencies domain is the feature with whose comprehension and imbibing we can sequentially be parallel with the formulation Vyakaran of transcendental code value 24 and Vedic code value of value 13, Nirukt of transcendental code value 25, Vedic code value 10, Chand of transcendental code value 19 and Vedic code value 15, Jyotish of transcendental code value 24 and Vedic code value 22, Kalp of transcendental code value 13 and Vedic code value 5. It is the Yash. 13 is Akshar, 5 is Yash. It is the blissful values domain of syllables, and it is the transcendental origin transition from the creator's domain, and as a result there being a split for the fourth space domain as a pair of force domains. One may have a pass here and be parallel with the formulation Vyanjan of transcendental code value 29 and formulation Visfort as well of transcendental code value 29. It is this Visfort, Dhvani Visfort, which is to be comprehended. And it is with comprehension of this dhvani visphot, sound explosion, that we will be parallel with the transition of a transcendental origin, making it Brahma, Shiv, Brahm. And as a result, there will be a transition for the sound-based organization format into Jyoti-based organization format of Vedic knowledge. With this, let us have a visit to the formulation chatushpeet. It is of transcendental code value 30. Now, domain, Brahma's domain, 29 value domain with origin as 30, and the transition of origin 30 from domain 29 will split 29 domain as Brahma as well as of Prakriti, and Brahma domain will lead to Jeev, and Prakriti will lead us to Beach. These together lead us to Janardhan, and this will help us appreciate the organization of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras as 16 and 13, and also the first Ganita Sutra being a scripture of 16 letters, while the last Upsutra is of transcendental code value 32. One shall sit comfortably and to permit the mind to be parallel with it. Now, in this background, let me sum up the steps which have to be taken sequentially to be parallel with the Vedic knowledge. First is Devanagari. One shall know Devanagari alphabet. One shall know Devanagari alphabet with transcendental code values as well as with Vedic code values. Second step is to know Mool Ank. Numbers 1 to 9 are Mool Ank, the basic numbers. The formulation Mool Ank is of transcendental code value 29. The formulation Mool is of transcendental code value 21. 21 constitutes a reflection pair with 12, and the difference value of 21 and 12 is 9. The 9 discretes lead us to 8 gaps, and the value 8 is the transcendental code value of Ank. It is of Ek, it is of Ras, and it is of Akash. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with these features. The third step is to know Sthapatya. Sthapatya formulation is of transcendental code value 22, which is parallel with the summation value of 4 folds of hypercube 6, the representative regular body of 6 space in 4 space. 6 space domain permits a Sthapatya miring rod synthesized by hypercubes 1 to 6. And we know that 22 discrete points have 21 gaps. These 21 gaps of Sthapatya are bridged by miring rod synthesized by hypercubes 1 to 6. The fourth learning point is a space content domain split. This space content manifests as domain, and domain sequentially splits, firstly as of 2 parts, then of 5, then of 12, then 29, 71, 69, 408, 985, and so on. With this learning of these 4 steps, the 5th step would be to know the transcendence. 9 vowels are 9-dimensional spaces. These 9-dimensional spaces are having their dimensional frames. The transcendence within first vowel has one space with dimension -1 and dimension of -3. Two space with dimension 0 and dimension -2. Three space with dimension 1 and dimension as equal to -1, and so on. Once one will be learning this transcendence through the dimensions, one will be parallel with the transcendence phenomenon of the manifested creations. Sixth learning step is the dimensional synthesis. The dimensions of the same order synthesize and linear dimensions synthesize 1, 2 synthesize as 3, 3 give lead to value 6, 4 as 10, 15, 21. The spatial dimensions lead to value 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, and so on. One may have a pause here and take note that the difference value of these parallel synthesis of equal number of dimensions of linear and spatial order lead to difference value -1, -1, 0, 2, 3, 5, which further lead to value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, again 1, 1, 1, and 0, 0, 0. It is this dimensional synthesis feature which one is to comprehend well and one is to imbibe. The seventh learning step is a panchmahabhut. The panchbhut transit and transform a panchmahabhut. Prithivi, aapa, agni, vayu, and akash are panchbhut. Dhruv, surya, akash, vayu, and agni are mahabhut. The summation value of the transcendental code values of Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu, Akash is 68, and of Dhruv, Surya, Akash, Vayu, and Agni is 67. But during this transition and transformation, Agni transforms as Tej. Agni is a formulation of transcendental code value 14, parallel with the transcendental code value of Ghan, while Tej is a formulation of transcendental code value 15, which is parallel with Anag. Ghan to Anag is the transition and transformation. Once one will be parallel with it, one will be parallel with the Vedic mathematics. And Vedic mathematics is Anand, infinitely infinite, being chased as Sahist along transcendental code value 23, which is the unique feature of 3 plus 5 plus 3 multiplied by 5. However, 3 plus 5 multiplied by 3 cross 5 is 120, and these together make it 123. Step ahead, Purusha takes us to 4 plus 6 cross 4 cross 6, and these together lead to 34 and 240. See, within the heart of Lord Shiv is Lord Vishnu, and within the heart of Lord Vishnu is Lord Shiv. So how the 5 space and 6 space are interlocked deserve to be revisited, as 5 space has given us value 23 plus 120, 43, while 6 space has given us to value 34 plus 242, 74, and the difference of value is 141. Let us sit comfortably between two parallel lines or between two orientations split for an interval. The space is spatial, a space which accepts boundary of 4 edges, and it takes us to a, ja, a, aj, which literally means one who is birthless, one who comes in existence of its own. Let us sit comfortably. Let us permit our mind to be parallel with these organizational features of Vedic knowledge, Vedic formulations which are Swarit Vyanjit and which of their own go from manifest to unmanifest, and as a result there happens a transition from sound-based organization of Vedic knowledge to light-based organization of knowledge. One shall sit comfortably and to permit the mind to be parallel with it. And it is in this background that we shall visit Ganita Sutras. Ganita Sutra 1 Ekadhiken Purve is a correspondence between one reservoir to another reservoir. And this correspondence could be 1 to 1 or 2 to 1 or 1 to 2. When Ekadhiken Purve is read along with Anurupen. One may have a pause here and take note that Ganita Sutras are bridging the gaps between the consecutive sutras. So the sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of urge to be parallel with Vedic mathematics shall approach Ganita Sutras and Upsutras together as an integrated format. This way, we shall be accepting as that 1 is 1 cross 1, it is also 1 cross 1 cross 1. So this reach could be 0, 1 to 0, 2 or 0, 2 to 0, 3, where only first digit is progressing and second digit remaining constant. And this way we can go on having transition, and it is this transition when say it is of M cross N, then the first digit may remain constant and second may progress, or second may remain constant and first may progress, or both can progress. So these are the different approaches, different applications of the rule of Ganita Sutra 1 together with Ganita Sutra 1. The sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of urge to have a real appreciation of the composition of Ganita Sutra 1 as of 2 words, Ganita Sutra 2 as of 3 words, and Ganita Sutra 3 as of 1 word, then one shall be appreciating as to a set with operation will synthesize 2 elements and make it as a composed element. So these are 3 distinct entities unifying as a single entity. So 2 as 3 and 1, 1 going as 2 and 2 going as 3. So it will make us 18. Each 3 of them being of 6 features, making 18 features, and it will help us appreciate as to how, if we are having 2 distinct entities for 2 distinct operations, and these entities having these type of features as these are tabulated, as we are at present applying for the group theory, then we can see that ultimately it takes us to a spatial order. The topology as we are working deserves to be revisited in the light of the Ganita Sutra 2, all from 9 and last from 10, and Purana Puranbhyam and Vyasti Samishti. It is by having visit to these sutras, then we can really see the limitations of the present day set theory and topological approach. These 3 sutras deserve to be read together to have a real appreciation as to how we can transcend through the limitations created by the modern mathematics disciplines. This way, we can have also a visit to the formulations Sankalan, Vyayavakalan, Chalan and Kalanabhyam, the formulation Kalan of transcendental code value 17, Sun of 13, Vyayava of, and these formulations, when will be read together, these will help us appreciate as to how chatushpeet at the foundation leads us to smooth transition as transcendence from the manifested creations within the creator's space, fourth space of spatial order. So formulation Sankalan as 30 is hypercube 8 and Vyavakalan is 34 hypercube 9, and these take us to 8 as 2 raised by 3, 9, 3 is 2, and the sutras 1 to 8 together with 7 of sutras lead to value 280, 3 less, and 9 to 16 with Upsutras 8 to 13 lead to 239, 3 more. This organization feature will help us appreciate, and accordingly we can revisit the formulation Prakriti, Brahm, Asht, and now Asht Prakriti, and now Brahm. Asht Prakriti, now Brahm. So now Brahm, Asht Prakriti, Saptabhumi, Shanmukh, Panchbhut, Chaturmukh, Tirloki. These are the Vedic mathematical formulations which take us to the higher dimensional domains reach of Vedic mathematics. Sadhakas fulfilled with the intensity of virtue to be parallel to the Vedic system shall revisit Jyoti of transcendental code value 18, Tej of transcendental code value 15, Prakash of transcendental code value 13, together of 46, parallel with Brahm Jyoti. It is sunlight. It is sunlight meditation. Let sadhakas be fulfilled with these features. Let mental state be parallel with it, and so one shall reach at the factors for the numbers ranges 1 to 10 as factors 16 and 1 to 16 as 29 and 57. Like that, when we'll proceed and continue for the organization, then we will reach at that numbers range 1 to 47 leads to factors 99, and at 48 we reach at 104, which is a 4 space. So sadhakas fulfilled with intensity of virtue to be parallel with Vedic systems shall revisit numbers ranges and their factors, and with it one will be parallel with Gita chapter 1 being a scripture of 47 shlokas, while its pushpika is of 48 syllables. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with this common yama format for organization of Vedic knowledge of transition from sounds to light. Thank you very much.